Hi, Brent Weed for Wild Indiana Video, and today we're in Greenwood at Hoosier Trapper Supply talking to taxidermist Charlie Masheck about how to take care of your trophy in the field. A hunter gets their trophy deer down. What are the do's and don'ts if they're going to take it to the taxidermist?
Don't delay. Keep things moving. It's just, it's something that spoils. And invariably, deer season, bow season is always warm. And invariably, here lately, gun season's been quite warm as well when it comes in, and I think it will be again this year. So that obviously speeds up any type of spoiling issue. So we always fight that every year with guys that are tempted or do drive their buck around, show it off to all their buddies. 2 days later, they're at the taxidermist, and we've got a bad cape. So deer are temperamental anyways in terms of spoilage. So that makes it even worse on our end and on the hunter's end, because they're going to have to get a new cape or they're not able to have a mount. So when you go to field dress, if it's for a mount, obviously there's a little more care that needs to be taken with the deer in the field. We have this mount, and it's not ideal because it's not flipped, it's not laying on its side. But essentially, when you field dress, you really kind of want to stop at the sternum, the beginning of the rib cage, so that you don't cut up further. If you do, we can deal with that, but the end result is if we don't have to do repairs or whatever, it makes a better mount. A common mistake that people that process their own deer will, when they come up to the front legs, they're actually cutting in front of the front legs. Most shoulder mounts have this portion right here, the top of the front leg, on the mount. So it's very important if you do cut behind the leg, to actually come down here and cut around so that we have all that skin. Another very important factor is that we need basically from here forward, and then we know we have enough. There's room for air. There's room for mistakes or whatever, and we have skin then that will wrap around the back of the shoulder mount. The other thing is dragging it out. Drag marks on the back of this on the deer itself. Certainly don't want those. We don't want any ropes around the neck. Try to be as careful as you possibly can. I realize that you have to shoot the deer. I realize that you have to get it out of the woods. But anything that you can do to make the deer in the same condition it was when it was out walking around, the better that your mount will be in the long run.
So somebody gets their deer down, a trophy. Is it best if they bring it straight to the taxidermist, or is it okay if they go to their processor first?
Go directly to the processor is just fine. The vast majority of the processors do an excellent job. The thing that you have to ask the processor is if he has refrigeration capabilities or freezer capabilities for your mount once once they've skinned that off of there. The processor generally will skin down, cut right here the meat, and then the rest of it comes to us, which is fine. We'll skin the head out. We actually prefer to do that. That way we'll have it the way we need it, and they don't have time to deal with that either. So, but it's very, very important. Over the years, we've run into processors that didn't communicate that they didn't have freezer capabilities for mounts, and 1 week later the guy shows up to pick his mount up and it's spoiled. So very important, just to make sure that they've got the capabilities to keep that in place, so that there's no issues, or that you're aware that you need to go pick it up the same day or first thing the next morning.
What about ducks and upland game?
When the bird's down, if you can keep your dog from retrieving the one that you want to have mounted, that is ideal. And I realize that most of the time you have no idea that bird is going to be mounted until you have it in your hand and your dog's retrieved it. So, and that's part of hunting, the dog retrieving the bird. But it also is hard on the condition of the bird or upland bird or waterfowl. So that's very important. We want to try to keep blood at a minimum. If you can keep some paper towel or whatever in the areas that you have some blood coming out to stop that, that's a good idea. You can tuck the head of the bird, particularly on waterfowl, under the wing. Not really completely necessary, but that does help kind of protect that neck feathers. And then just, some use hose, women's hose, and put the bird in that to keep the feathers down. That's great. If not, just put it in a plastic bag, feathers laid back the way they're naturally supposed to be, and then roll it up and stick it in the freezer. Here again, you want to work as quickly as you possibly can. So, but you don't want to field dress it. We don't want that cut at all. Just bring us the whole bird.
What about fur-bearing animals like raccoons?
Since we're in the trapping supply business, and related to the fur industry, we have a number of people that will bring fur-bearing animals in to be mounted or tanned. We do a lot of tanning. A lot of deer hunters will shoot a coyote and they want to have the skin tanned. So here again, need to move as quickly as you possibly can. You do not need to field dress it. Nobody's eating that animal, so just bring the whole thing to us. And if you can't get it to us, put it in a plastic bag and stick it in your freezer. That's the number one thing. Any of this stuff, if you're in doubt and you have freezer space, put it in the freezer. That bottom line, right there, and get it done as quickly as you possibly can.
And how can folks find your studio?
You can reach us at 317-881-3075 or HoosierTrapperSupply.com.